what's your name? Craig Lieberman. Picks up the phone. He's here. Hangs up. Pull over there and don't move. And I think I'm in trouble now. So I pull over there, right? Other cars are going through, and then I see a little golf cart with a little siren on the top. Really? And another big old dude comes over, makes a U-turn. Are you Lieberman? Follow me. I go to the commissary about 80 or 100 feet down the lane. That's the restaurant that everybody goes to when they're working on the lot. Okay. So they put this velvet ropes around their car. And he said, just stay here. Somebody's going to be here in 5, 10 minutes. It was a hot day. I had the Targa top off. And I'm sitting there for like 15, 20 minutes. I was sweating when my doctor wouldn't touch me. So then all these people come walking down, the producer, Neil Moritz, the director, Rob Cohen, the Valdemar Kalinowski was the custom guy. Paul Walker was there. Vin Diesel was there. Who else? A bunch of other people I got to know on the part. So everybody's asking me the questions. I had the hood popped, had a big shiny single turbo, and in the back it had 2 polished nitrous bottles. And everybody's, all the girls and the guys asking, why do you carry oxygen in your car? It's not oxygen. It's nitrous oxide, like the stuff you get at a dentist. Yeah, sort of. What's it for? It makes the car faster. I can explain it to you, but just know that it makes the car go fast. So Rob is fascinated with the car, and he gets in the car. Let's go for a little ride. So I get out of the slot and on the streets, and I get on the freeway. And if you know anything about California freeways, they're pretty freaking packed. Yeah. So I start going up the ramp, second gear, and then and Rob looks over to it and he goes, is that the NOS? And I said, no, that's the turbo. He said, I'll take it. Take what? We want your car. We want your car. I'm not selling the car. No, we'll rent it for you. Okay. Yeah. So go back, park the car, and they bring me upstairs to Rob's office. Now I'm trying to play it cool, like this shit happens to me every week. But I'm looking around these pictures with him with Arnold Schwarzenegger, because they did Running Man together, and all these famous movie stars, all these rewards. He's on set. He's looking through the lens. He's all that kind of everything you would think you'd see in the director's office. That's what it was. And there was a big white grease board, and they had a line up there and says cars. And they had, what was the car that I think Buick Regal. Really? Yeah. Well, I think in my head I registered it as a GNX, right? Not him. He showed me a picture. It was a front wheel drive Regal from like 1991. And that's not the right Buick Regal. This was before cell phones with pictures and all that kind of internet, right? So I'll get back to you. I'll send you a picture in later. Okay, so I go up there and start racing everything in the board, and I realize maybe some of that might have been important. So I'm getting white and choked up. And I said, well, here's the thing. Here's the cars that you picked that we can definitely use, but they have to do it the right way. They had Paul in a 3000 GTR or a 3000 GT VR4, and then they put him in a Eclipse. I said, you got to go the other way. If you want him to start off in a car, if the Eclipse is the starter car, right? And remember, the car gets impounded, or it gets blown up, so he goes into another car. And the 3000 GT would be fine if it was a Targa top, because you have to jump out of the car at the end of the movie when he's helping Vince get off that rig, remember? So they said, okay, you're hired. I have a job. I'm working right now. I'm work. No, we just want to help you consult. Okay, what's my job? You're going to help us get all the cars, all the parts. What do you mean all the parts? Well, you have all those sponsorship relationships with your Naira sponsors. I'm sure you can call them up and tell them we're doing movie, and they can probably get their products into the movie if we can work out some deals like the free or deep discounts and all that kind of stuff. And then I want you to find us the background cars that we're going to need, because we have 2 big scenes, the one on Hawthorne and the big one of Race Wars.
Yep.
And so we brought along a guy that was work with me, RJ DeVero.
Yeah.
Yeah, he's a great guy. He helped us get a lot of those cars for the Hawthorne thing, and he was consultant on the language and all kinds of stuff. So that started what was it, about March, and we were already building these cars and getting all the parts. Everything's going fast. They told me they were going to build 5 Supras exactly like mine in like 6 weeks, and I'm laughing.
Ow.
No way, man. No, okay, you do you, boo.
How old were you at when this was all happening?
What's that?
How old were you when this was all happening to?
I was in my late 30s.
Late 30s, okay.
Yeah. So they did it. They did the cars so well when they parked them outside. I couldn't find my car different from any of the cars. I had to use my key fob. Yeah, that's my car. There it is.
Wow. You said your Super was an 88. Is that correct?
98.
98. Okay.
No, excuse me, 94. 94.
Okay.
Yeah, but I built it in 98.
Okay.
Yeah. So that's how that happened. So they build all the cars, and then we do all the stuff, all the filming, and we do getting the stickers on the cars, the sponsor logos. I was responsible for that, to give the right square, measurements. It have to, each decal has to go this way, maybe 10 inches, and then 4, so that and vertically. So that was part of my job, getting all the parts. And then we had, every Friday, we had car castings on the back lot. So we would call up all these people. This was before, what do you call it? Instagram, Facebook. We had the Beamer forums and all that kind of stuff, and Yahoo and AOL groups. Remember that? That's what you had, man. And then I just got my Flip Razor. Remember those phones?
Oh, yes.
That was it.
Those.
Yep. So that's how we found these cars. And RJ would call his friends, who called their friends, who called their friends. We said, we want to see Integras. We want to see Preludes. We want to see GTIs. We want to see this, that, and the other thing. And then everybody would come down, like they looked at my car, and we walked around. This car, we can make copies of it pretty easy. But if it's wide body things, that we couldn't take those cars because our budget was very low. I think we had $1 million total to do everything to do with cars, including paint, transportation, gasoline, everything, tires, and everything, that kind of stuff. So basically, they hired me because I had the right car. They took my Supra and my blue Maxima, which was Vince's car, and I just had the right contacts on my Rolodex. You remember the Rolodex? You're probably too young for that.
I'm too young for that, but I do remember my parents.
It was a thing. It's a thing you put on your desk, and it's like cards, and it's a wheel, and you turn it, and there's a card, somebody's contact cards.
That's really cool.
You're going to look it up.
Good one.
Anyway, that's the way it got started, and then they pulled me back after I was done. They wanted me to get the sounds for the cars. So I had to call everybody up and get all the cars up to a runway up in the desert, and to drive up and down the runway as fast as we could do it, like 20 passes each way, slow takeoff, medium takeoff, speed shifting, all that kind of stuff, blow off valves.
Yeah.
That was all that kind of stuff. And then they hired me to do ADRs, to go to a studio where they have the movie playing on a giant screen, and they have lip readers who are looking at the people walking around the cars at the farmers market, and they're saying stuff, and they don't understand the language. What did she? So somebody would say, he said this. No, that's nitrous oxide. So they walk around a microphone hanging from the ceiling, and somebody said, check out the nitrous system, because it's not filmed on set.
Yeah, that's
too much back regulars. So I
Right.
was consulting on that. And then Paul and I were sent on to the car show circuit with the cars to start promoting the movie. Now, Paul at that time was a muscle car guy. He had a 66 Nova, 66 Chevy 2, dark gray, and he was just getting into the tuner cars. And we got him into the Supras, and Sean Morris, who was instrumental in getting a lot of some of these cars, who loaned us the R33 for Leon, and he got Paul into GTRs. Okay, so that's part of that thing. So I was there too. So we got him into cars, and he started getting really interested in racing and performance driving, and so that had started his career with the car stuff. Not so much in muscle cars, but in tuners and Euros. That's when it started.
Yeah, that's really interesting. That's something a lot of people don't know for sure.
And he was a car guy. He used to say, well, I'll tell you about Too Fast and Furious. After we were done with Fast and Furious 1, I was still doing marking stuff for them. I did what do you call that? A feature on a DVD.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think building a car with the Playboy mate. Playboy, yeah, I did that.
Oh, yeah. I remember catching that video.
Yeah. So I did that, and then I was doing international marketing, home theater, and all kind of stuff, right? So I get all done with that. I think it's all done. And then a few more months goes by, and I get a phone call from David Mardigan. We're going to do another one. What are you talking about? I just got my last paycheck. I was working for 5 departments at one time.
Wow.
Yes. 5 different departments. Anyway, everybody treated me like gold. They treated me like it was somebody. I'm just Joe Nobody off the street with the right car, with the right connections, with the right attitude, at the right time. That was it. And that's true. That is the God's honest truth. So they call me back, and so I drive over there to another building, which was in Marina del Rey. At the time, I had. What the hell is it? I don't have the picture of it here. Anyway, I had an R34 GTR that was the first one into the United States. It was called the Blackbird. It was the first legal one in the United States. I immediately painted blue. It got a bunch of magazine covers all over the world. And that was the car that I was driving that day down to the production office in Marina del Rey. John Singleton comes down and he goes, "Holy shit, what is this?
Genius.
Why do you have 3 bottles of nitrous?" Because there was no passenger seat. It was just a pyramid of 3 big bottles, not the 10 pounds, they're 15 pounds. And they were carbon fiber bottles.
Wow. That's really cool.
Yeah, that's pretty cool. So he says, would you consider lettering to us? I said, well, these cars are not cheap, man. He said, what did you pay for yours? I said, $78,000. And he says, well, how much can we get other ones for? And so I called my guy over at MotorX. He said, we can get them for $48,000 a piece. So that's what we did. We ordered 4 more true GTRs. And then to get them out here, we put them on an airplane.
Really?
One airplane, a 747. So there was $196,500 to get all those cars there, to buy 4.
Imagine if we saw the prices of those GTRs today.
Shit, I should have bought all of them.
Yeah, should have.
But honestly, after the movie, the first movie, when I was driving my Supra to car shows, because I was still doing that with my club, they look at me like, what is this old guy driving with this racer Supra? Yeah. Because the movie hadn't come out yet. Nobody knew what the movie was about. Hey. Okay. And then when the movie still came out, then everybody got to be the fans of it. Well, not the kids who were 25 and in the JDM kind of thing, but the kids who are like 12, 18, because they're just seeing these movies and movie cars like this the first time. They only see it in Gran Turismo, and those guys are fanboys. We still have those fanboys to this day.
Yeah, always.
So that was it. And so I had my R34, and this girl calls me up and she says, I want to buy your Supra. I mean, no, the guy backwards. A guy called me and I want to rent a car, my Supra, for a show in Belgium. I said, I don't know who you are, and I don't know what the laws are. So we'd have to be doing escrow for money, and they're like, put $150,000 in escrow, and when I get the car back, you get your money back.
Yep.
I goes, well, why don't I just buy it? That's okay. So I said, all right.
Yeah.
So I sold the car. I think I figured out that I made about $185,000 in profit.
Okay, that's fair enough.
Yeah, fair enough. And by that, so I bought a Lamborghini. Never again, I said to Mike. And I had a blue one. Of course, I put nitrous in that as well.
Yeah. So why never again?
Why?
Yeah.
Why not?
No, I meant like why not ever again buying another Lamborghini?
Because it was a pile of shit. My dad used to say Italian cars are like Italian women. They're good when you first bring them home, but after a couple of years, everything starts getting hairy, if you know what I mean.
Oh, goodness.
My dad was like Al Bundy.
Really?
Yeah.
Huh, that's really cool.
Yeah.
I grew up watching the, what is that? What was that old show in the mornings? Some family show with Al Bundy in it.
Married with Children.
Married with Children. Thank you.
Yeah. Yeah.
I remember it all the time.
Yeah, done it. So then I bought I was going to buy it. I bought a BMW M3 and made a wide body out of that. And I was having fun. It was a fun show car, and a good daily driver, because I only went about what are we saying? Maybe it was 10, not even 10 miles round trip. So I had no problem driving that car.
Yeah.
And then that car I sold it because I didn't have any room for the garage. So then, not long after that, I got a ridiculous offer on the R34. Ridiculous.
This offer after the second movie's release?
Yep.
Quick note here, Craig. Wait, no, sorry. This is Skype. We're good. Never mind. You're good. So was this offer after the second release?
Yeah. They painted it silver with the blue stripes on it. As soon as I got it home, and I sanded it down to bare metal, and then painted it blue the way it was before.
Yeah.
And then I got that call. I want to buy your cars. That's not for sale. Not for sale. Not for sale. I said, okay. What kind of number you're talking about? She says, you name a price. And I gave her a price, and she said, give me your bank information.
Really?
Yeah. So I bought a 6.0 Lamborghini Diablo. That was the 2001. That car was very very nicer than the other car, the other Diablo. The other one I had was a 98. But the 01 was just better. And I loved driving it, but it got me the wrong kind of attention. Cops, and then cougars, and some happily married at the time,
Yeah, attention.
And then the old guys who have Lamborghinis, when I go to those shows, if you put anything in your car that's not original equipment, you're racing the car. And the guys were fucking bunch of douches.
Figures.
Didn't like it. That's not my jam. 38 years old and driving to a car show with septuagenarians.
So it sounds like most of the time working with Universal on these movies was a good time, I would say.
Yeah.
What's something that you really didn't like about doing it, or was it just like fun and games the entire time? Did you love every aspect of it?
Well, I'm in the picture car department, Everybody in the picture car department is very nice and very cool. They worked their ass off. They hated the fact that we had to put stereo systems in stunt cars because they're going to see those pieces in the frame.
Yeah.
And the mechanics, so they look at me like, "What the hell are we doing this for?" And
Yeah.
we weren't wiring them up like the Supra from Too Fast and Furious. Those amps on the back,
Yep.
They had to put those on there because you could see them.
Mhm.
But that wasn't my mandate. It was the directors.
Yeah.
Yeah. So John Singleton, and I'll tell you a story about Singleton. When we were picking cars for Too Fast, Too Furious, that we were 22 people at the studio in the office of Scott Stuber, the vice president of Universal Production. And so there's a lady across from the street from me. She looks at me and he's like this, just like staring at me. Why does he have to be here? Right? Why am I here? Why am I here?
Yeah.
Her name was Melissa Crow. She was working out product placement, including from cars like Mitsubishi, Dodge, and all that kind of stuff. So she was very excited. She says, "Well, I've got great news. We have a opportunity to work with Dodge." And I'm flipping it. I'm like, Vipers. We can get Vipers.
Right.
I was sitting up and I was very happy. Right. I didn't care that it was an American car. We were talking about tuner movies. We're getting Vipers. She goes, "No, this great car. It's a neon SRT4."
Yeah, that face, exactly.
And I was writhing in my seat. Now John Singleton is sitting 2 seats away from me. Okay, David Martyr is right here. Ted Mosier, my other boss, is next to David.
Mm-hmm.
Got these big. Something's gonna kill me today. What did I drink? Anyway, so Siegel looks over and he says to me, "Craig, you got something to say?" "No, John. I'll wait I will wait my turn." "Come on, man. Speak up, man. You're my consultant. Start consulting." "Come on. I don't want no booty ass shit in this movie. If this is booty, I want to know right now." I said, "Well, let me put it to you this way. Well, you can put lipstick on a pig, but it's still a pig."
Oh,
and the lady looks at me with the laser beam light lenses going like this. I could feel them getting closer to me, focusing in on me. And here come the laser beams. "Are you telling us not to use this car?" Listen, I'm not telling you that. What I'm saying is that if you make that the main car for Paul Walker, can you imagine it being a neon SRT4 instead of the GTR?
Right.
Everybody would be screaming, "That's the stupidest thing ever."
Yeah, movie down the hill.
Yeah, and I said, "Here's what we can do, though. If we have to use that, we can definitely bring it in at one of the cars, and then we can talk, put some dialogue in it. You guys, check this thing. Nobody knows anything about this car, but it's turbo. Well, check it out. Wow, it's got a big compressor on the hood. And it's fast, maybe for one of the 4 cars at the 4-car race. We could have done that." So they thought about that for a couple of minutes, and then they just moved on. And so as I'm walking out of the office, right?
Yeah.
My boss, Ted Mosier, grabs me, puts me up on the wall. And he puts his finger in my face and he goes, "Thank you." So it worked out, though. We got Vipers, we got Dodge Rams. We were able to put together a Mitsubishi thing because we got the Evo in there. Mm-hmm. And Mitsubishi and Dodge had a relationship as well. So everybody was happy.
How different the franchise would have been if even just the second movie, if it would have been a neon rather than the Skyline, like you said.
Yeah, I mean, SRT4 is a good car. 2 years after they were out, they were setting records.
Yeah, 100%.
Yeah, it's a lot of these cars. You look at them, they look like nothing but a couple of mods, and they are fantastic. It is what it is.
Since you worked on the first few films, 1, 2, and Tokyo, correct?
My role in Tokyo Drift was just trying to get some extra cars for the underground seat.
Okay.
Yeah, that's it. Because most of those cars came from Japan.
Yeah.
Literally came from Japan.
That's awesome.
They shipped them over here, parked them in there. We filmed it at mostly in California.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
The mall is Hawthorne Mall. Hawthorne Mall.
So with that being said, I caught some information about how you didn't like some of the latter movies, like 4. You couldn't remember 4 very well. So like, what really changed your opinion about the movies after Tokyo Drift? What made you get away from them?
Well, 4 wasn't really terrible. It just was. I live in Southern California. I see drug busts every day, right?
Mm-hmm.
And it's a sore subject for Californians. You know, if I want to see that stuff, I can just turn on the news or go through Facebook or Instagram or anything.
Okay, I follow.
And it was, and it for me, when it changed because of the demographic. Before,
yeah,
it was mostly car people, you know, but maybe 60, 65 cents Caucasian, and then a good chunk of Latinos because they're always into cars all over the world. I've been around enough to know that. And then they started putting in these Latino kind of songs and tracks and all kind of. It's just not my jam. I know a lot of people don't like my music, and I'm not offended if they tell me my music is shit. I get it, but I can't even. All these Instagram posts where they put that Omar Bar Bandalander thing, or that 6 days.
Yep, 6 days.
It's like fingernails on a blackboard.
Yeah, 6 days. It's kind of getting overplayed. I agree.
I hated it the first time I heard it. I hate it even more today. So now when I go on Instagram, what I do is I put my phone on mute. Especially if it's car content, I just can't take it. But gotta give them the credit because now it's almost over 67% Latino and Hispanic, right? And that's what's driving revenue for these movies. So they have to do it that way. You can't serve Italian food in the Mexican neighborhood. It doesn't work.
Yep.
So they're Universal is very, very smart. But I don't think it's never going to get Chinese people on it because they just don't get it.
Right. I was curious. So since, like I said, you kind of stepped away from the whole Universal Pictures and like Fast franchise in general. Have you seen the rest of the movies? And
yeah, I've seen everyone. I've go to everyone.
So which one has been your favorite thus far then?
Well, I would have to say Fast 5. Well, Tokyo Drift is my favorite.
Yeah.
Asian girls. Because I'm married to one. And I drive Japanese cars. And back in those days, that was just great. Anyway, Fast 5 was pretty good. Yeah. But right now I'm doing a video about all the stupid stunts they've done, the worst of them, because I'm such a geek, going back to 5th grade, studying Mercury, Gemini, Apollo, all this shit. I'm a encyclopedia of this. Because World War II, ask me anything, blah, 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 battles, ships, airplanes, anything, all that kind of shit. So I know too much about physics to be entertained.
Okay.
Putting a Fiero into orbit with Playtex dishwashing gloves doesn't work. I can tell you that now, right, with no regret.
Yeah, with all that pressure outside.
A torpedo on ice, okay? That propeller back there is not a fan to cool you. It's to push it through the water. Those things weigh 3,500 pounds. The Mark 48 torpedo weighs 3,500 pounds. So Dominic Toretto just pushed like that and changed the trajectory. Sorry, no. I'm sorry, I can't.
I was curious about that because I think if I were to have to watch a Fast movie, only one, it would probably be 4, the one released in 2009. For the sole fact of like what I love about movies, Craig, is that they evoke emotion. And growing up, I have an older brother, and we kind of lost connection because he went away for several years. So I really got, I guess you could say, a unhealthy relationship connection with the movies. So my girlfriend at the time moved in with me, and we kind of watched the movies every night for like 6 years straight. So she lived with us at the time, and like we just loved the movies. We would go to bed, and that's what we would watch. So like I think, like I said, it was an unhealthy relationship, and that bond that Paul Walker and Vin Diesel were able to capture on screen, that brotherhood between them two, and the entire Fast family for that matter, is what I fell in love with. And when they brought Brian back to 2009, and that the bickerment between those two during that movie and how they came together at the end, it fast forward just resonates with me a lot. But yeah, like you said, they've tried to outdo themselves every movie, right? And
Yeah, I get frustrated too.
Yeah,
because they keep teasing him, right?
Yes.
And then he never shows.
Mm-hmm. And that's what I wanted to ask you, how you thought, in your opinion, since you've been around it for such a long period of time, how would you think that they might be able to wrap it up in the end in the last 2 movies or so? So from my understanding now, they're doing not just Fast 11, but they have Fast 12. Fast 11 is obviously the next one, released in 2026.
Oh, don't kid yourself. After 12, there's going to be many more there.
Well, we'll dig into that for a minute, but how do you think that they could wrap up Brian's character in a forgiving and in a peaceful way?
I think I'm not a script writer, okay? But if it were me, and if I want to have any kind of integrity, I would kill him off. And then he's got the son, right? And then you hand it over to Star Trek: The Next Generation, the child of Dominic Toretto and Paul Walker, right?
Yeah.
And then that's the next group, right?
Yeah. I was curious because I don't know if you saw the article that I saw. Donna Langley, the chief content officer, she had hinted at a possible TV series for the Fast franchise after Fast 11 and 12. So,
TV series, was it going to be a cartoon? I hope.
From my understanding, no, because
who watches TV? I have big TV that everybody else has. LG channels. I got Prime, Netflix. I don't watch any of those programs. Zero. No.
Also mentions in that article that it talks about the origin story of the Toretto family. So that's where she thought that it might go, but it's funny because I don't know if you had a chance to look at any of the content that I was doing, but for the past 2 years I've been working on a TV series of the origin story of Dominic Toretto and his family, because for the past 20 years, what has been the main theme for all of the movies? Family, right?
Yeah.
Everybody makes fun of the movies because of that. And for a franchise to go on for 20 plus years and to be about family, where has the Toretto mom been this entire time?
Yeah.
So I wrote a pilot episode, put her in it, shared it to a bunch of friends. They loved it. So I hired a couple writers out in LA to go over this pilot, and they were like, scrap the pilot. Don't do the pilot first. And had me do like a pitch piece / story Bible for a script. And now I have 7 seasons prepped with the pilot episode and the first 10 episodes of the first season ready to go. And then I started making content about it on TikTok and Instagram. And TikTok, my campaign video is about to break 400K views. And it was just a weird coincidence that she all of a sudden started talking about that in an article. Because 3 weeks ago, I was supposed to have a call with Sun Kang about this same topic, and he had to reschedule. So, but it was just like I said, I don't believe in coincidences that much. But like I said, it's been a 2-year long project.
I think they're going to have to figure out his ethnicity because they've been dancing around it for 20 years. Is he black? Is he white? Is he Latino?
Yep.
Pick one. Just pick one. I don't get one. I don't care.
Yeah.
So it's going to probably have to be Hispanic because that's the audience.
That's the way I lean towards as well.
So you got to remember, I'm not Latino and I'm not 20.
Yeah.
So this is not aimed at me. This is, of course, and that's fine. That's fine. I'm not their audience anyway.
Yeah, I pictured Rosario Dawson in the Toretto mom role. She seemed like she'd be a perfect fit.
But if Mila Kunis in it,
ooh, Mila Kunis.
Yeah, I'll be there.
That's interesting.
Well, no, I want to be one of the characters. I want to be Mila's boyfriend.
Right.
She's my freebie. My wife said I can have her.
That's. Let's see here. Are we still doing good on time, Craig?
Yeah, we're good.
Okay, fine.
I had a script written myself. Yeah, it's called Deadly Deliberate.
Deadly Deliberate.
So now instead of doing street racing, they're doing canyon racing, and it's all these guys with all Japanese cars racing the guys, doctors and lawyers with their Ferraris and all that kind of stuff for pink slips, right? And then when the guys get their cars crashed or lost, then they call up their insurance company and report it's stolen.
That's interesting. How far did you take that script?
40, 50 pages. I've got the whole thing penciled out.
That's awesome.
I'm going to get a guy on there like Andrew Dice Clay.
Okay.
As a tow truck driver. That kind of character, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Yeah, that kind of character. So.
Are you into any big projects at the moment then? Are you
we're after Fast and Furious 1 and 2, we pitched so many shows to like MTV, Lionsgate. We had a Pepsi challenge with EA Games, everything down right to the wire. And then everybody just pulled the plug. I don't know what happened.
Really?
For like 3 years, everybody wanted content. They wanted TV shows because Pimp My Ride was running, all those, right, overhauling and all that. It was Saturdays money. Everything was going in, but nobody was putting up the money. They said, yeah, that's great. Let's get going. Well, who's going to put in the money? And the producer, we went to Lionsgate. I still have all those proposals.
Really?
I've kept them 20 months. Yeah.
That's crazy, Craig.
We were going to do a thing with the EA Games where we do all these challenges for people to come in teams and build his cars, build audio, video, engine, and all that kind of stuff. And then they have to drive around the track. It has to do this, that, and the other thing. And then you have a finale where you have the final time where you have to drive. So we walk in the kids into the warehouse and you see all these crazy cars that they had built. And instead of them driving them cars, we pull back the screen and you're driving the EA Games game.
Oh.
And that's the finale.
Huh.
That's the finale.
I like that.
And whichever team wins takes all the cars.
Huh.
Because there's 5 people, right? So each person will get one of the cars.
That's interesting. I actually like that. I like that idea.
Yeah, so did everybody else, but nobody wanted to write a check.
It seems like that happens a lot nowadays. Even with the mass amount of production behind even like Amazon Prime and Netflix and HBO, like everybody's producing a bunch of stuff. Like, there's one director in Birmingham I've been talking to that he's doing nothing but Amazon stuff right now. Like, he just filmed like 4 films in Greece, and he's been over there for like 8 months doing all 4 films. And he's talking about how they need to lower their budget on and focus on less items and less movies and films and stuff, rather than spending so much money on so many different things. Because when people have options, that's a problem. Because when there's too much stuff, people don't know what to choose.
Yeah.
So do you have any ties with anybody left from like any of the movies or franchise? Neil or Rob or John Singleton or anybody like that?
Well, John died a couple of years ago.
That's right. I'm sorry. I do
Yeah.
remember. I do remember.
I do. I have Dave Martyr. I have Ted Mosier. I have a guy named Barry Rosenbush.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know if he's retired yet. He was telling me a couple of years ago he's thinking about retiring.
Okay.
So we did another movie with them, which is what was it called? Tiger Cruise with Disney.
I feel like where is that? Has that been released?
That was a long time ago.
I say it sounds familiar. I don't remember.
It's 2003 or 2004.
Okay.
Yeah.
I saw you went to Fuel Fest in LA as well. You had a nice talk up there on stage.
Yeah. John Nanduri. I used to work with him. He was the head of Super Street at one point.
Okay. That's big.
Yeah, he's big. I don't really like going to Fuel Fest for 2 reasons. I don't go into the VIP tent because my people are not in VIP.
Mm-hmm.
I talk to everybody because I've been doing this for now. It's got to be it's 24, just to get to 30 years.
I love that.
30 years. And somehow people still want to talk about this. When I go to Germany or Belgium and Holland, these kids, my wife was there the first time I was there. These little kids are walking over to me, shaking with the picture. Mr. Lieberman, can I get a autograph? Which is the weirdest thing ever in my life. You should be getting my autograph on a check.
Right.
It's just really weird. But my wife said something very nicely. She said, well, in the absence of Paul, there's only one person that's really real and connected to the franchise and talks about this openly without an agenda.
100%.
Yeah.
I agree with that.
I thought so. He was exaggerating, but I suspect a little bit of that might be true. You know how you got car friends. You know, when you sit with your car buddies, wherever you sit, and your guys are talking frankly, right?
Mm-hmm.
You can say anything. I just had a powwow here last Sunday and was only be for 45 minutes, and we were in there for 4 hours.
Wow.
Because there's so much to talk about. You know, the changing of the guard, the takeovers and the good stuff, the bad stuff, EVs and all that kind of other stuff. But all those guys have not changed. They like the same things, right?
Yep.
And they have the same friends for a decade or more.
Yeah.
And this is a thing that's not going to last. Once we get into these toasters, EVs,
mm-hmm.
They're just going to be appliances.
Yeah.
Sooner or later, people will get fancy with those cars. By that time, I'm going to be dead. Thankful. I don't want to see that. I don't want to see that. So,
not a big fan of them. So,
nor am I. I like them for what they are or their potential, but there's other things. So,
I like that too.
Yeah, but I hope Universal can pull out a rabbit out of the hat and keep this thing going for a long time. Mm-hmm. I would like to see Meadow Walker get in there somehow. I don't know anything if she has any kind of acting chops. I think she has other things on her, and I'm not sure she's recovered. You know, I feel like she's suffering still, and I can appreciate that. So I hope if she needs help, she gets help.
I agree with you.
So I got along with most of the actors. Vin Diesel is kind of a weird kind of guy. First day at the press junket back in 2001, he walks out of his trailer. He goes, "Want to feel my biceps?"
What the hell?
Sorry, that was my son calling. He was supposed to call me later. Like he was calling me, and then he's in his bodyguard or buddy. He comes out. Why do you feel this? Why don't you feel? No, guys, I think I'm good. I'm thinking.
Yeah.
Okay, and then Tyrese. Oh man, he was. How can I say this? He has a bit of an ego.
I was gonna say that. I've met him twice now, and I'm not a big fan of Tyrese personally.
Yeah, his Instagram is not very cool with me. He said one time I saw this. He is not. He proposed to said, "Dear white people, dear white people." Shit. And at the Fuel Fest, he comes in on a golf cart. He stand on and he just drive through, waves, and he leaves.
Yeah.
He don't want to talk to anybody.
Yep, that's where I met Tyrese twice, was at Fuel Fest, and he was, for lack of better words, seemed like a straight dick.
Yeah, were you at the raining one?
No, I went to both Phoenix one. Well, Scottsdale and Phoenix.
Wow. Yeah, he blew off some people that we pushed to him. This car, blah 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 blah, and he's like, and he got rancid with these people. He was like, "Get the fuck out of here! These are my friends." No, they're not. You just didn't want to talk to them because they were white.
Wow.
That's what his buddy told me. Not his buddy, one of the guys, my buddy.
Yeah.
He just doesn't, and he's always been like that. At the picture warehouse, when we built his car the first time, it was purple with yellow on the inside, which was not my idea. It was the art director's idea. He goes, somebody to me, opens the door. Hell no, I'm not driving no Lakers car because of the colors of the Lakers.
Yeah, right.
Yeah. And I said, I'm the low man on the Pope. I'm nobody. Okay, I'll talk to the team. We'll see what can we do. And so we changed it to purple and gray. And then after that, it was pretty much the end of that. I didn't see him again until Fuel Fest in 2019.
Wow. So
I don't hang with stars. I don't give a shit if you're.
That's the one thing that I've noticed about meeting those types of people and like Tyrese and stuff is that they are just ordinary people. They are not to be put on a pedestal like everyone does. Because when you meet your heroes or your idols that you've always looked up to, and you get hit with something like Tyrese does, like it really puts everything in perspective.
Yeah, but a lot of the people were very nice. Who was Jesse's nice? Sung is 90. He had me on his podcast at least twice. One of it was like 4 hours. I don't know how much they cut out, but whatever.
Yeah.
But he doesn't like going to car shows either. He doesn't want to stand around for 9 hours, and I don't blame the guy.
Yeah, it's a rough time.
Noel is a fun guy, but if you want him having to your party, you're going to have to pay like $15,000 and all that kind of shit.
Yep. I gave him I paid him $1,500 to promote me on a video one time.
He asked me to do that too, and I said, "No, thanks." When I go to Germany, they pay for my flight. I fly premium coach, not first class. Mm-hmm. Okay. They put me in the same hotel wherever they stay. If the crew is doing the booth and you're staying in this hotel, I'm staying with you and I will help you set up your booth. Okay. And then I sit at the desk all day signing autographs, telling stories. And then we go to night dinners for their sponsors. Everybody gets along. It's a family. It's all great. And so that's the way I do it. So when people want me to have come to their thing, best way to do it is do a car show or a night like some of these car clubs have their own warehouse, right? And they'd have these movie nights and all that kind of stuff. I've been invited to several of those. They fly me out, put me in the hotel, bring me over there, and it's you just fly on your buddy over to talk about cars, and it's fun.
Good deal. From the times that I've met him, I've been blessed to think that he is a genuine guy.
He is. He's into cars. He's learning. He hangs around with Sean Lee. Sean Lee is kind of
is a really, really nice gentleman too. And people mistakenly underestimate who Sean is and who he was in Paul's life and in just car life in general. But Sean knows a lot. He's a really good source of information and just a good guy in general.
Yeah.
But yeah, Cody, when I met with him the last time at Fuel Fest in Scottsdale, he gave me 20 minutes of his time before the event even started, and we were out on the red carpet of the VIP section or whatever, and he, like I said, he gave me 20 minutes of his time to kind of talk to him about that show, and I gave him a flash drive with everything on it, and it was really cool to see that he was willing to give me that time before the day even started, because the event was starting at 1 and I got in at 12, so we ended up talking for 20 to 30 minutes.
What I want to get into is into the Fuel Fest, because what's the guy's name, Randall, who runs Fuel Fest?
I know Chris Lee and Cody Walker. Randall, I'm trying to think of Randall. I can't remember off my head.
He's over his head. God, he tries really hard, but that event is not managed well. The VIP is not VIP at all.
No,
I used to do drag races 11 times a season, all over the country. Naira.
Yep.
And they don't have enough sponsors. They're not selling sponsors properly.
Yeah, I was gonna say that was my biggest issue with with Fuel Fest in general was the VIP section. Because when I went to like one of the first events they had, and it was in Phoenix, and it was terrible. Like you said, they had no structure. They literally asked us in the VIP section how they should structure this event for us. And I was like, it should be the other way around. You guys should be telling us what to do.
The VIP is not VIP. It's like,
Yeah.
It's a tent where you can sit down basically.
Yep.
They have at Irwindale, they have suites up on the top.
Yeah.
That's where VIP should be.
They didn't even have them up there?
Nope.
Man. That's interesting.
Yeah, we used to have giant sandwiches and all the shit over, because racing on a drag strip, there's a big box upstairs behind the bleachers, like a baseball game.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that's what they do at like Barber Motorsports Park too. When people buy actual like VIP stuff, they're up in the tower with an overview of the entire track. So they
exactly. They
get to park in the garage right behind the building, like get taken care of.
And the funny thing, from there on that day, I drove to Long Beach, where they used to have the Long Beach Grand Prix. They were having the EV Expo run by two friends of mine. Both of them worked for me at one point. And it was a parking in a garage. Sweet. Oh, man. Well, I got to get going, but I want to continue this conversation. So if you got some time tomorrow, let me know. We'll just have a talk.